right, so we are here with the Two Dudes, One Closet podcast.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Been a minute, but we're back.
Yeah,
And
we're
better than
back.
ever.
Well, don't promise them anything you can't
I think it's
deliver
better
on.
than ever. Click play on the video.
Oh shit, I forgot to.
No, that's fine. don't worry.
Yeah,
too
I
much.
forgot to click play on that. Anywho,
All good.
it's a very
Whoa.
creepy visual, by the way. Very fucking creepy.
What is this? Feels like Tim Burton's Wet Dream or something.
Yeah, that's why I never liked Tim Burton movies because they're always so goddamn creepy.
You never like Beetlejuice?
I mean, that movie
It's
just
funny though.
made me question reality as a child.
It is funny though.
Yeah,
There's like a part where he's like, I don't know. He's like, I can't. It's been a while since I watched Beetlejuice. Something happens that's funny in it though.
Quick, Avery, what do you like about Beetlejuice? You're just like, you know that when you have the, you know why, you know that you can do anything.
I realize I sound a little retarded, but
All right. Well, we were gonna wait to open the. Oh god damn it.
No, it's not open.
We're gonna wait to open these tall ass twisted teas for the ASMR fans.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Bada
Here we
bing.
go. 1, 2, 3.
Nice.
Got that crisp ass.
Yeah. Can't get that with
Yeah.
the Dasakis. You gotta get some weird pop noise.
Yeah, we're drinking 2 Twisted Tea Tall Boys.
Yeah.
Back in Tuscaloosa, back at the back on the home front.
Yeah.
Lane's going to coach some kids who are doing wrestling tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm
That'll
a
be fun,
wrestling
I'm sure.
coach. A lot of people don't like that. They think I'll diddle them. I promise I won't.
I don't you really don't seem like a diddler, I gotta say.
No, I'm not. Thanks for
No, I
thanks
just
for
you meet some
backing me up.
I'm just saying, you know what I mean. Some people you meet, and even if they aren't, you know they're not gonna. You're like, yeah, probably. You're the type who would, maybe. I don't
Yeah.
really see that with you, Lane. You're like a pretty straightforward kind of. You just, I don't see you molesting.
I don't like rape. Avery can back me up on that.
I know I'm. This isn't anything to shake a stick at. I'm saying you're a non-rape, child rapey kind of guy.
Thanks, bud. Thank you.
So we were both out of town for the Christmas break, and we're back.
Yeah. You know, I wanted to talk about something here. I wanted to talk about the future of this podcast because it has relatively little to no past.
Right.
And we started with the idea of wanting to drunkenly watch a movie and then review it, and we did that a few times and we got bored of it rather quick.
Yeah, we kind of, and also just like anytime we actually tried to do it, we ended up not actually talking about the movie very much. We just kind of started talking about like shit in our own lives.
Yeah. Which I feel like is every comedy podcast. So it's like, what can we do differently is really the question. How can we offset ourselves from the competition?
Yeah, and turns out it's pretty tough because neither of us are really established voices.
Yeah, our best idea was to like review cigarettes.
I think that's kind of a fun idea. I would do that. Fuck, I'd listen to a cigarette review podcast.
Yeah, but you know, cancer.
Well, cancer. Probably gonna get
and cigarette smoke would just be filling up in my apartment.
that would be bad. We could smoke them out there and like write our notes down.
Write our notes.
Compare. Be like,
I like the oaky taste of a good Marlboro Red.
I can't really tell the difference between most cigarettes that well.
You can definitely tell the difference between like, you know, a Marlboro Gold and like a menthol like fucking.
I don't like menthols.
Yeah.
I think they're pretty fucking gross if you ask me.
I like the mintiness. I like it. But I'm also just kind of a fiend for anything that gets me not sober.
Yeah.
You know? Like anything, like if you just handed me a pill and you're like, this will make you not sober, I'd probably take it.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. It's amazing I made it this far.
Well, yeah, basically guys, we're just catching up today. Even though we've been like kind of just hanging out nonstop and talking for the past like 3 days. I don't really know what we'll have new to talk about, but never know.
Again, we could talk about, you know, what we want to do with this pod. You seem to have an issue with the name.
I don't have an issie with the name. The name is not my least favorite part.
Well, every time somebody's like, "What's it called?" You're like, "Ugh, Two Dudes, One Closet."
I find it embarrassing the idea of people like listening to this and like hearing my stupid voice. I don't like hearing my voice.
Oh, so you're just afraid to share it in general, like.
which is bad for promotion.
It's
I
terrible
realize,
for promotion. It's
but
also exactly how I feel.
yeah, it's just like because we just say dumb shit on here. We'll just be like, "You ever think about like
Like
fucking
if your
a bitch,
dick sucked your own dick,
if your dick
like
sucked itself?"
yeah,
And I just like my family's asked about it and been like, "What is the name of your podcast?" And I'm like,
yeah,
"Yeah,
and then you're just like,
don't worry about
I,
it.
you're not the target
It
audience.
doesn't. It really you wouldn't like it."
Listen, if I if I start shilling like fucking Fine China or something
Mm,
like a late night commercial, then I'll let you know to go watch.
okay, yeah. Well,
No,
I'd
that's what I
watch
would
that.
say to like my fucking parents or something. Like
Go check it out.
like if if I get like a sponsor and it's like or not motorcycle, Jesus Christ, uh, I can't fucking think right now.
What
Fucking
motorcycles?
no, not motorcycle. Fucking lawnmower blade.
Lawnmower.
Jesus Christ.
Well, that is a big difference.
This is why we're not promoting this very much. Is
Yeah.
because we have shit like this happens.
Nah, that's fine, man. It's fine. You ain't gotta worry about it. Lane was watching some My Name Is Earl before we started. Good show. Pretty funny.
Classic shit. Lot of like big time comedians
Yeah, a lot of
had like
comedian
some smaller roles in this show back in
cameos.
the day.
Yeah. I've been watching this show, which I told Lane he should check out, and I don't think he will, called Mindhunter on Netflix. It's very good. It's really creepy. So if you're not into like creepy shit, you might not like it.
I just like to laugh,
I get that.
man.
No, I love to laugh too, but like, and I'm not even one of these people. I think because I like meet people sometimes who are like, they say shit like, I'm just really, really into like true crime
hmm
and shit like that. And I'm like, well, that's weird.
Yeah,
That's a weird thing to be into. If
yeah.
you just want to like and constantly listen to stories about like people getting murdered and like raped and shit, it's like, that's kind of fucked up.
It's a red flag for me. If for
Yeah.
every relationship I've ever had, it's a red flag if the female really likes listening to specifically female murderer stories.
Yeah.
Like where
No,
the
I
girl
feel the
like cuts
opposite.
off her spouse's dick and like force feeds it to him and shit. You're like, Jesus Christ.
Well, I've known a few girls who they're really into like the male killers
Yeah,
and
that's another sect of people.
they like really want they're just like into the idea. I think they're just like into the idea of getting murdered because I had a girl one time, it was actually a girlfriend, but she wanted me to like this is weird to tell you, but like she wanted me to like hold a knife up to her and like run it along her skin and shit, and she was just like, I
Wow.
just think it's cool to get I like the idea of like getting murdered, and I was like, okay, I mean, I'm not gonna kill you, but
You should have
Jesus.
you, you, I, what
I
the
don't
fuck?
yeah, isn't that a weird thing for me to just now bring up?
Uh,
I didn't do it very many times.
did you ever
but-
accidentally cut her or anything?
No, I was careful.
Dude, you should have cut her on purpose and
No.
then watch her
What,
freak
teach her a
out.
lesson?
Yeah,
I mean,
freak
no.
her out, and then you'd be like, "See, doesn't feel that good."
Yeah, no, she was just like she just thought blood and shit was sexy and she was into all that shit. I just end up around a lot of weird people.
That's got to be like a thing. That's got to be like
It's a
a
thing.
murder name for that.
It's a thing.
For
I
somebody
think
that's into murder and sex at the same time somehow.
yeah. Oh, well, we call them like psychopaths. But she wasn't actually a psychopath. She was just bipolar. But you know. No, but I will say
Sounds like a handful of a person.
yeah, well, there's a reason we're not together anymore. But but I will say there was this thing on the show, Mindhunter, which like I said, good show, about this guy who is like a real person, just this real serial killer, and he was just like a normal, like a really, really normal, like suburban dude. Like he just like was totally like nobody thought twice about him. He was just very, very normal and he just like lived in the suburbs and he just happened to kill like a bunch of people randomly. It's like the most fucked up shit I had ever heard of. And then it's just like, yeah, that just can you and like he had kids too. And like randomly, the police found out it was him one day and his kids he got arrested and his I'm just thinking about that. I'm like, wow, so like your kids just find out that you're a murderer and like you just have killed like a bunch of women and shit. And it's like what the fuck would
Well,
I don't know. I've just been thinking
that is pretty crazy. There's also like, have you heard in the news recently about that dude? I think the whole point of what he did was to like avoid getting caught with like cheating.
Mhm.
Uh, but but he fucking put both of his kids in a fucking oil drum.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Yeah, just to avoid getting caught. Like he
He
was
would like
such
bring
a.
girls over while they were in there.
I don't remember the full story. I remember hearing about it, and then like I saw some thing in the news the other day. But like it was just to avoid getting caught. Like he just like completely overreacted. Like
Yeah.
that's basically what he did. He was like, "Well, you caught me. I guess I have to murder you now."
Oh, so like the kids were dead.
Yeah, the kids died.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah. I'm pretty sure the wife's dead too.
Damn.
Pretty sure he killed the wife because
That's
they were
fucking
because
crazy.
and I think he tried to frame it as like the wife took the kids and like just left, but he didn't get rid of any of her shoes or clothes to make it look like she left.
Oh, then he's just stupid.
No, this guy's completely retarded.
Yeah. That's pretty dumb.
Yeah.
Damn. Well, the way I know I could never be a serial killer was because serial killers, they're like really fucking precise, and they're really like pay attention to every little detail. And if you've ever met me, I'm like a really like bumbling kind of guy. I like lose shit all the time.
Yeah.
I get like lost. I think I'd be really bad at it. So,
Yeah.
you know.
Okay.
How about you? You think you'd be a good serial killer?
Would I be a good serial killer? I don't know. I don't eat cereal in the morning, so like
Good answer.
I this is such a dumb fucking uh I get so grossed out at like like I feel like if I stab somebody I'd be like ew. Like I would literally stab them and be like, "Oh, that was gross." Like
Oh God, stabbing someone would be fucking awful because like they don't die immediately.
I just
It's fucked up.
if you did something, it's one of those things where it's like if you would have to bring out my animal instinct by like hurting a family member or something
Sure.
for me to like curb stomp you and feel good about the mushing I feel of my boot
Sure.
on your head.
Yeah. And even then, I think you'd probably. Well, I don't know if some. Okay, I'll say this: if someone was like hurting, yeah, like a family member or like a really really close friend of mine,
Hmm.
someone like that, I probably, you know,
I'll tell you.
zero regrets would be able to do something like that.
I'll tell you what would like what's my line for like oh I'm gonna murder a person now.
Yeah.
Like whether I go to prison for the rest of my life or not, this person's not gonna be on this earth anymore.
Yeah.
Is if I had a daughter and this person raped them. Like
Yeah.
that I would murder the fuck out of them.
Right.
Or if they kidnapped her, like I don't know. Like,
Yeah, but you're saying like if you had kids
yeah,
and
it's a
somebody could
thing with
fuck with your
kids.
kid.
I mean, if somebody raped my mom, I don't know if I would do anything. I'm just kidding.
I was about to say, well, I would not like that either, but we all have we all have things, we all have lines we won't cross.
Yeah. I don't know. What would it take for you? Is it the same thing, pretty much?
Yeah.
Or like would it be
Um,
slightly like they stole your lawnmower and you're like, well,
no,
murder time.
no, I don't really. Well, that's the thing about me is like, I don't really get angry at other people that much. I don't feel like, and like generally speaking, I just try to avoid confrontation. Like I don't like it.
Hmm.
I don't like it when I'm like, feel like I don't even like it when I feel like people are like pissed off at me. So like, I feel like it would take a lot
Yeah,
for me to.
you're very much a talker.
Yeah,
Let's talk this out, bud.
I feel like yeah, I feel like it would take a lot for me to feel like okay, well I need to either hurt you or kill you. That's really the only option. But
Yeah.
if someone
You would be precise. Here's why you probably would be a better serial killer though, is because you're not like you're not big enough that like you feel like you could probably just fucking take them. Like I feel
Sure.
like you would have to meticulously plan out a kidnapping and how you would do it, and like you probably get a weapon of like some
Yeah,
caliber.
yeah,
You know,
I guess so.
it
But
wouldn't be some like heat of the moment or anything for you. It'd be like I'm going to meticulously plan out how I'm going to
right.
take you or murder you.
And I also feel like, you know, I've watched a lot of movies and there's a lot of movies that I've seen that are about serial killers or whatever, you
Hmm.
know. So, I feel like I know enough about like patterns that like cops look for and everything like that
Hmm.
and like signs of who's doing it. I feel like I would be really good at the planning.
Yeah.
I feel like I would probably enjoy the planning, but I don't. I think when it actually gets right down to it, I would probably bail out and be like, what the fuck? I'm not killing anybody.
What am I doing?
What the fuck? I've like got a gun in my hand. They're like tied up in my basement. I'm like, what The fuck am I? I'm sorry. You know what?
You
Here's
know
$20
what?
for, you know, like
Your
a bucket
time.
fare.
You
Yeah.
know, your time. I've had you
Thanks.
for
Can
like
I
an
get you any
hour.
water?
Can I get you anyone?
That'd be funny. Like a guy who wants to be a serial killer, and then like immediately it's just like, oh my, what am I doing? It's like, it's a
You come to
Wednesday
your
night.
senses,
Yeah.
and then they're like an asshole about it, and you're like, you know what? I am gonna murder you.
Yeah, and I'm like, here's money for a cab, and they're like $10. It's more than that, and I'm like, what the fuck? I'm
Stab,
being a
stab,
nice
stab.
guy here.
You know what? You almost got away.
Last thing, we can get off the serial killer subject soon, but I will say, have you ever seen Silence of the Lambs?
I actually have not. We should watch that.
Well, it's a good movie, but what's funny about it is, well, it's not funny, but like I feel like this happens a lot in like serial killer movies. Like, have you seen like Split and like shit like that?
I've always wanted to see Split. Never
Split
did.
is really good, but there's like a part after it's like when like a girl gets kidnapped by some psycho guy or something, and she's like trying to talk him out of it. She'll say like, I promise if you let me go, I won't go to the cops, I won't do anything. And it's like, who's gonna believe that? It's like, of course you are.
Of course you are. You'll
You'd
be in
be
the
fucking
safety
stupid
of
not
police.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I bet he's never gonna do it again though.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure somebody else won't become the next victim.
Exactly. And it's like, I feel like I wouldn't even say that if I got kidnapped. I'd be
I
like,
know I would, just to see if they were dumb enough to let me. Like, it's one of those cards that you ought as well play, because why not? What do you have to lose?
Yeah,
Like,
that's true.
he's probably gonna kill you, so like, what do you have to lose?
Probably gonna kill you, so you might as well give it your all, I
Mhm.
guess. That's
Throw out all your cards on the table. You're currently tied up with a knife to your throat.
Yeah, good point. Good point. But
Yeah.
all right, we can move on to happier stuff.
You know what? Actually, sorry. One
No,
more
no,
thing.
no, please.
One thing that I've heard that works is, feigning Stockholm syndrome,
Mm-hmm.
where you just pretend to be like your best friend and like you enjoy it. You're like, fuck yeah, dude, I love being tied up in this basement. Yo, can we be friends? You want to play Nintendo? Like, just pretend to be their best
Yeah.
friend, and then find your out, like find your escape.
Mm-hmm. That would probably work.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, anyways,
Anyways,
so
so Tuscaloosa, pretty much the same as when I left.
still a lot of drunk people, still a lot of music playing loudly outside the apartment.
Yeah. Still a lot of people with no mufflers on their trucks.
Still homeless people walking right up to me while I'm outside walking my dog, directly next to the apartment.
You get a lot of homeless people?
That's happened once or twice.
I feel like I've never seen a homeless person around here.
Dude, I literally, I go outside my door, I walk 10 paces, turn left. There's some grass for my dog to, tinkle on.
Mm.
And a homeless dude just walks up and is, asking me for money. I'm like, dude, I'm literally in, basketball shorts and a t-shirt because I just woke up.
Yeah.
I don't have
weird.
money on me to give you,
I don't feel like I see that many homeless people like that in this part of Tuscaloosa. Now, other parts, sure, but like here, I don't.
What do you think it
that.
is? Do you think the police keep them away?
Well, probably. I mean, literally, yeah. Like from campus.
Yeah, because I feel like there's got to be some. Because if you're a homeless person, you're not above digging through garbage to find extra food people didn't eat, and
yeah.
around here would be the best place to do that.
It'd be a good place to do it, but I genuinely do think that, yeah, probably cops are a pretty big presence in this area.
I think that's.
I see a lot of cop cars around here.
Yeah, the UA police probably have something to do with it, keeping them off campus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
We solved it.
Also, probably Tuscaloosa, not a great city to be in if you're homeless.
No. There's not many. The only good cities to be if you're homeless are ones that don't change much throughout the year when it comes to temperature wise. So
that's
LA.
why they all go to California.
Yeah, California's the place to be if you're homeless. That's why they're kind of having an issue with that right now.
Right.
Kind of, sort of. Joe Rogan left. It's not that big of a deal.
People always say that. People are like, homeless people always want to go to California because it's easy to, because you don't freeze to death. There's rich people around who you could panhandle. But I hear that and I'm like, yeah, but if you're homeless, how the fuck are you gonna get the money to go to California?
Yeah.
Where, I mean, seriously,
no, it's a real question.
Get over there?
No, I think you just beg enough to get. Well, the problem is
Maybe
like when
hitchhiking.
you yeah hitchhiking like when you beg for money and you only get like $8 a day, it's like you have to use that for food or you're
Yeah.
gonna die. It's a scary place to be. I really don't want to be homeless.
I gotta say that I
It's a
think
scary.
that would fucking suck, man. I wake up every day and I'm like, yeah, life kind of sucks sometimes, but I
Yeah,
am pretty glad I have a house. I
yeah.
have like a
Whenever I'm
bed.
like, oh, I can't afford to drink tonight, and it's
Yeah.
like, well, at least you have a warm bed, food in your tummy.
Oh yeah, there's a lot to be grateful for.
Oh
Sure,
yeah.
sure. Life's okay for us.
Us Americans like to complain a lot, but we got it good. We got
I
it
think
good.
Americans complain more than any other country.
Oh, we don't. We don't. They like to say we do, but we don't.
What country
Everybody
complains
complains.
the most, you think? My money's on the French.
It's got to be a country where like the happiness
Is
fucking
low.
meter is pretty low, you know. I feel you know what I think? I think it's like Russia. Like I think people probably complain all the time. No,
Yeah.
actually, I've heard the otherwise that people like Russian people are like hard as fuck and they don't like
Oh yeah.
they
That's what
don't.
I've heard as well. That they're really fucking like they're just
Maybe
tough
it is
as
America
nails.
then. Maybe
I
because
just
like it's so cushy here and people still find so many issues,
well that's the thing because like I feel like if you're in a really poor country, you probably have more to complain about,
but you don't
but you
do it.
also don't really, I mean, honestly, you don't really have the time to just stand around complaining. Because
Yeah,
if you're in one of these just like dirt poor countries, I mean, you're just looking for work, basically. You're just like looking for like whatever mine or whatever farm is
yeah,
nearby. You're not spending your time complaining about the politicians. I mean, some people do, but you're not generally doing that. Whereas if it's a rich country like America, like okay, we could say America is the richest country in the world. We have a lot of problems, but generally speaking, yeah, pretty high standard of living.
hmm
So ultimately, we have a lot of people who have a lot of money who are gonna complain a lot
yeah.
because they are not working.
Well,
I don't
so I think you and I both experienced it in high school where you met people that had it really good, but always had something to complain about. And
sure.
it's like the fall of Rome. It's like the better we got it here, the more people like want to find something to
Oh
put
yeah.
excitement in their life, and
No,
then
the people I know who have the most problems are also like the richest, usually.
hmm
Not the people who have the most problems, but the people who complain the most are the
yeah,
richest people.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're like this service sucks.
Yeah, they just want to feel something, feel bad for
Where's my
themselves.
ranch?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, that guy is fucking struggling to
Oh
get
yeah.
her ranch.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
So
we've talked a lot today about like serial killers and problems of our country.
Why are these topics all serious?
I don't know.
Why are we doing
Let's
such
talk about
serious topics?
well, come up with something funny or lighthearted. I don't
Lane,
know.
quick, get the idea bucket.
Yeah,
I
I
wonder
think
if
we've had
that'll
a
even
fun.
make a
It's
noise
been
on the
funny, but let's. I don't know. Something
fucking.
lighthearted. Like,
Want to go test cigarettes?
if you have any, sure.
I don't have any cigarettes. I had this fucking vape,
Yeah, me too.
and if we became, vape entrepreneurs or vape
Vape
reviewers.
reviewers. I think my mom would probably look at that and be like, "Yeah, I don't like you anymore."
My parents, okay, dude, there was a time when I like wanted to make YouTube videos, not just, because I was like, oh, I just want to play video games all day.
Mm,
But because I had nothing going on, I was like, I might as well, make something creative.
sure.
Maybe it takes off and I actually do well at it. We'll see what happens. Didn't take off, but um, I remember I was talking about a Louis C.K. bit in one of the videos, and I was just like, I like the word cunt. It's chocolatey, like
Mm,
it's cunt. It
cunt.
feels good.
Yeah.
And I was saying this in the YouTube video, and my little brothers who love to support me, at least they did after I left for college, because we fucking hated each other for all of our childhood. Um, they were watching the video, and my mom came up behind apparently and was watching the video without him knowing. and she heard my voice talking about the word cunt. And she had to talk to me about it, and I was just like, "You can't tell me what to do. I'm an adult now," because I was like a sophomore in college.
Yeah.
I was like, "I'm an adult. I can say cunt, 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 cunt. Try and stop me." So it was, yeah,
That's funny. I
yeah.
feel like everybody's had that experience of like trying to make YouTube videos and you don't know what you're doing, and then like you show it to someone or they find it and they're just like,
Dude, that
okay,
is the worst. I did it like 2 times. Only two, never again. We're like, I show somebody one of my videos that I feel very proud of.
sure,
I'm like, you have no idea how many times Shotcut crashed when I was trying to edit this goddamn thing, and I put so many edits into it, and it's like, it's gonna be good, guys. It's gonna be good. And then nobody fucking makes a noise while watching it.
oh yeah,
No, you're like, so what do you guys think? And everybody just goes, um, yeah, I mean, it's a YouTube video. It's a video.
yeah,
Have you ever taken a class on like edit, you know? You're just like, "Fuck, dude. This is the most embarrassing shit. I just did what they're going to talk to their friends about later, where they're like, "Hey, you know that annoying thing when somebody shows you a video they made and they want
yeah.
you're like, "God damn it."
Oh yeah, it sucks. I feel that way too, but also, and I know you feel this way too, when like you show someone like something that you like or
Mhm.
like a comedy bit or something, and
Yeah.
you're like, dude, isn't this funny? And they don't make a single fucking noise while they're watching it. They're like,
Yeah.
yeah, it was good.
They have the same yeah, that or like the same reaction of like,
Mm,
this yeah, it's okay. Like they get
all right.
that high voice.
I used to show
Uh,
people, well, because I was also a really big Louis C.K. fan, and I used to show people a ton of like Louis C.K. shit in high school. Now, me and like my closest friends, we were all really into Louis C.K.
yeah,
But
you and
occasionally,
the edgy boys.
sure, yeah, I mean literally, yes. And but sometimes I would show it to people, and they would just be like, "What?" Or they would just be like, "This
What?
is like pretty fucked up."
No, if his bits are just like fucking what is that Australian comedian? I can never
Jim
Jim
Jeffries.
Jeffries. His bits are just like Jim Jeffries, where if you wrote them down, they're super fucked up.
Hmm.
But like when he tells them they're great, and he has one of those horrible bits that I bet you probably showed them. It was like where he was like, uh, kids, if you could just kill them,
Hmm.
there would be just like bags around the country. Like every 5 feet, there'd be bags to clean up your dead kid
Yeah,
because kids are annoying,
yeah.
and I can vouch for that.
I do remember that bit as well. Very good bit.
Mhm.
That's fucked up because now you can't talk. It's a different reason you can't talk about Louis C.K. because he like jerked off in front of people.
I feel like most people that I've talked to don't think he's a bad person.
Yeah, I feel like I talked to a lot of, or I just like happen to know a lot of kind of like not sensitive, but like people who are like really socially like aware about that kind of shit, and they're just like, yeah,
Yeah.
you're not supposed to like someone if they, you know, for stuff like that. Not that I'm saying that what Louis C.K. did was good, obviously,
Hmm.
but I do think that there's, you know, kind of a lot of people who are like they find his stuff funny, but they're like, oh well, I'm based. They're just like adults who are like, well, I'm not allowed to watch this anymore.
Yeah.
And yeah, people that it annoys me. I mean, everybody's allowed to do whatever they want, but it annoys me when like adults or just like people who have the wherewithal to, you know, they're just like, yeah, I feel like I shouldn't watch that, or like I'm not supposed to, and it's like, who cares? Who's
Dude,
telling you what to do?
well, how do you think Lauren feels about him?
Louis C.K.
Yeah.
I don't know. She'd probably be like,
I mean,
yeah. I
he's
mean,
kind of funny. He has some good
he was
bits.
like an influence on me when I was younger, but
Yeah.
now, you know, I can't really watch him anymore. I don't know.
We had a
I don't know how to
conversation
feel
about
Lauren
this
feels.
yesterday with parents that try to censor their entire child's life.
Oh yeah, that's weird.
Like like I told you about how for the longest time, and this is actually one of my bits too, that I couldn't watch Pokemon because my mom thought it was satanic.
Right.
And then when I was in elementary school, well, I said that weird. When I was in elementary school, we had this reading after class every day, and basically the teacher would just read an interesting book, and you always had to get a permission slip signed just in case the parent wasn't uncomfortable with the book. You know, maybe it was a Mark Twain novel, and they didn't want their kid hearing the N word. So
Side note, that was like the funniest shit ever when the white teachers would just be like really excited to say the N word reading Mark Twain.
What are you talking about? It was the students that like because they would do a read around
Mm,
where like be like every person reads a paragraph,
yeah.
and you'd be like, dude, I got the N word in mine. I got the N word. I
I knew a few teachers who got kind of excited about it.
Okay. I have a side story. You gotta fucking remind me of. Just I'll try and remember it. Um, but one time that we were doing Percy Jackson.
Mm,
You remember this? Me telling you about it. We did a Percy Jackson reading, and my mom would not let me listen to the book reading because it was like Greek mythology, whatever the fuck, and we were Christian, and it's just the dumbest shit to me because I feel like every book that a teacher reads into the class, especially something like Percy Jackson, they should just be like, "Hey, by the way, none of this is real. It's just a story."
but also, it's like, if you're a kid, I mean, maybe if you're a little kid, I guess, but if you're like, how old are you? You were probably like 12, 13 when this was happening.
No,
Somewhere
I was younger than that.
younger than that. Okay,
I
but
was
still.
probably like 9 or 8. I don't know.
Yeah, but I was around that age too, and I read Percy Jackson, and I mean, I'm not saying I was
Well,
like a fucking smart kid,
well, I
but I was
told you.
also. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I told you the hugely ironic thing about this whole story is that because I couldn't sit in and listen to Percy Jackson, I had to sit outside the classroom and guess what I was reading? Fucking Harry Potter. That's witchcraft.
Yeah.
That is literally a book filled with witchcraft. So I don't know what the fuck. And my mom also let me play Pokemon games. So like I couldn't watch Pokemon, but could play the games. Couldn't listen to Percy Jackson, but I could read Harry Potter. It's like
Well, that's what the thing that like certain like parents sometimes just have like really weird like blind spots
yeah,
where they like are really like oh you can't do this but you can do this because like I told you about this like my mom and my dad I guess but like they were like yeah you can't watch the show Fairly Odd Parents because it's disrespectful to adults and I'm like okay first of all like it's a cartoon
yeah,
and second of
it's
all
not real.
but second of all, I mean, they let me watch like SpongeBob and shit like that, and like all that shit is probably just as like
Hmm.
whatever they thought Fairly Odd Parents was. So it's like,
They
so
make the
this is
parents
okay.
dumb and Fairly Odd Parents, and it's
It's
like, well,
like,
you are
well,
dumb.
sometimes parents are dumb. I'm not.
Yeah.
It's not you guys. It's like,
No, it is you guys.
have you
You
ever?
guys are dumb.
But like, I did know kids when I was a kid who like had really dumb parents, and it's like, okay, yeah, sometimes it, like
I knew a
parents are
kid
just
whose
dumb.
dad was autistic, and I thought that shit was hilarious.
How autistic was he?
Like, I don't know.
But was he like really, really?
He
really
was not
autistic?
only autistic, he had no neck.
Oh, so he was like a fat guy.
No. I don't mean he had no
Oh.
neck because he was fat.
Oh.
I mean he had no neck.
Okay, that's interesting
Yeah,
because people like that are like just so weird to look at.
they're always so weird. And they had me house sit for them one time, and they told me it was okay if I invited like some friends over to use their hot tub or whatever. They're like, yeah, that's fine.
Mhm.
I did, and we were just hanging outside in the hot tub, and we could smell weed. And my buddies were all fiends for weed at the time. I did not smoke at all. I was like very goody two shoes. You know, you don't want to go to hell.
Sure.
So they smell the weed, and then one of my buddies jumps up and he looks. He goes over to like one of those basement window things like for the fire escape, and he sees weed literally like a fucking a growery in the basement. So I was house sitting a grow house. And
That's hilarious.
they told me not to go in the basement, but they left the keys to go in the basement. They locked it, but I found the keys.
Did you guys take some weed?
No, I made sure they didn't take weed, but we went down there and I didn't see any security cameras. I was like very adamant about like we cannot be caught doing this. And I made sure they didn't take any weed. I was a very goody two shoes. Today I would have definitely been like, dude, they're not gonna notice a few nugs missing. Like,
That's hilarious.
yeah.
Also, that they just like.
But here's what happened. I did not want to spend alone time in that strange house.
Mhm.
I was like, you guys just sleep over. It'll be fun. They kept going in and out for whatever reason to go to like the gas station and get food and whatnot. And in the morning, I woke up and my stepdad was standing over. Like we were all still passed out except for me. I just woken up and he's standing there and he is fucking pissed because the lady thinks because my friends kept going in and out of the door, her Ring doorbell kept saying that it was going in and out. They thought there was like 30 people going in and out of this house. They thought
Mhm.
I had done a party.
That's funny.
Yeah, and then I just
But you just had like 5 people?
I just had like 4 or 5 of my buddies from high school.
That is
It
funny.
it was a dumb fucking night. I got in a lot of trouble for some odd reason. I really didn't do anything. I actually kept things from happening.
Yeah, no, that doesn't sound like anybody, like nobody did anything wrong. Or,
Yeah. And then I told Brandon, I
That's
was like,
weird.
Brandon, this is a fucking grow house. And he was like, what? Because he used to be a drug dealer and now he is staunchly against any drugs at all. Like,
Mhm.
I've smoked I probably shouldn't say this. I will just say there are certain people in my family that like weed, and Brandon would not be happy to know that.
Oh, okay.
But
Which one's Brandon? He's your stepdad?
my stepdad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's really. I always find that funny when people are like done horrible shit in like a past life, and
And then they like judge you like a motherfucker.
And then
if
later
you, like,
they're like-
partake every once in a while.
they're like, motherfucker, you piece of shit.
Brandon, it's
You
okay.
smoked a fucking joint.
Yeah.
And it's like, you literally.
You're just gonna throw your life
You were a
away?
drug dealer. Like,
Yeah, I love it when people treat it like throwing your life away. It's like I can drive high a lot better than I can drive drunk. I'm just saying.
yeah, it is easier because you're like hyper focused on everything.
Well,
Like, you
specifically
notice-
the road.
Well, yeah, you know, you notice like every little thing with the car and the road and everything. You get really safe. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, you definitely drive. You drive slower too, because you're like, damn, I'm going fast.
You're like, I need to slow down.
need to
because
calm
the Cops
down.
around. You're going like
And then they
10
pull you
miles an
over.
hour.
Yeah, they pull you over because you're going 20 under,
Mhm.
and then you're fucked.
Just like,
There's a bit about that.
I didn't know I couldn't do that.
Yeah. There's a bit about that from a comic I listened to. I can't remember his name. I wish I could give him the credit if anybody's actually even fucking listening.
No,
Uh,
just do it for fun. I guess.
just do it for fun, you know. But he had a bit where he was high, right? And he was
Sure.
driving and he was going like 20 under, and the cop pulls him over and he's like, "You know you're going like 20 under," and he was like, "You're welcome. I don't know what you want me to be less safe. What's the problem here, officer?"
That actually, okay, that does kind of fuck me up though. It's like, I mean, I don't think it's really cool to pull people over. They're not like killing people, but if you have to, I guess I understand like pulling them over for like going way over the speed limit.
Mm-hmm.
But like honestly, who are you hurting by going under the speed limit? Like-
Mostly just me when I get pissed because I'm stuck behind you.
Sure, it's not fun to drive behind that person, but you probably shouldn't pull them over, you know?
Yeah,
It's weird.
yeah.
Just let people honk at them and ruin their day. That's all you gotta do.
We still need to go back to this. The future of this podcast. Like, what are we really gonna do? Also, the name. Do you want to change the name
Well,
so that it's easier to tell people? Like, because I always
no, the name is one of the things I don't mind about the podcast. I've told you
Okay.
that. I think it's kind of clever,
Okay.
especially considering we actually started doing it in a closet.
Mhm.
But you know,
That's what makes it even more
That's the-
clever.
yes.
It's like wow.
it's good. And I actually think the podcast is much better now than when we were doing the Disney movie thing. I didn't think that was ever gonna work, and it did.
Yeah, that was like.
I never really saw a future in that, and I'm glad we're doing.
Well, apparently a lot of Alyssa's friends were like, "I would actually love to watch that," and I was like, "Well,
But-
we hate to do it."
But also, I think most people who like say that say like, I think that I would actually listen to that. Like
Yeah.
I say that to people sometimes. And I
Yeah.
don't actually want to. you know.
Yeah, people just say that. Yeah,
Plus, you're not just trying to get your friends to listen to it. or
apparently her
fiance's
friends checked out the pod once, and it was not one of our like episodes where we even did a movie. Like they did not like it.
Oh well.
They weren't fans.
Well, that's
We
kinda
don't have more subs now, so
I mean, I'm sorry to hear that, but that's also kind of funny.
that's
So,
why I laughed. It's
Yeah.
hilarious because I was like, it really wasn't for them,
Yeah.
anyways. Like if they're listening to it, I'd be really questioning who I thought they were this whole time.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Here's the thing. I mean, we're only living together for like a few more months. Then you're going to Atlanta.
Yeah.
Presumably, I'm doing something.
Are we gonna start doing these over Zoom or some shit? Like, what's gonna happen?
I mean, I'd be cool with that.
Yeah.
I will say, I don't know how often we would actually do them, just because I mean we live together
Probably
now.
once a week. I would
Yeah,
say.
but we live together now, and we still don't always do them on time or as consistently as we say we will. I just mean like how like
You
realistically.
know what we should do just to like give this an honest, good old college try?
Okay, yeah.
And I'm being serious. Like, so like if we get even like 50 subscribers,
Hmm.
that would be enough to propel me. Like, oh shit, there's people that
Yeah,
actually like this,
yeah,
which means we could reach out to more people that would like
sure.
it. Um, but like we should really try and hit a goal of like releasing 2 of these a week, and we don't have to do like how long have we even been recording? We've been recording for 40 minutes. I think I think there's a lot of pods that are like well over an hour long,
Yeah.
and if it was better for you, we could do like 30-minute pods.
I'd be fine with that. I don't really mind how long it is because usually once we get into like a good discussion, time kind of flies by and I don't really notice how long it's been. Um, I would also be, I mean, I'd be fine with the 30-minute thing as well. Here's the thing, Lane. I think basically this is a pretty good podcast for what it is. I mean, we're both like young, starting out comedians trying to find our like voice, trying to find our footing.
Yeah.
And, we're a little clumsy, we're a little awkward sometimes, but I think we're both generally pretty good.
I think if anybody's listening to this right now, in the future or now or later or whatever the fuck, you're the true OGs, the true
Yeah.
fans of
No,
uh
you are
of
the true fan.
of like how we started this and how shit we are and were at it. Because
Yes.
I have no doubt in my mind that we will, we'll get better at talking in a format like this. We'll get better at
Yeah.
talking on stage.
Yeah.
But right now we are not good at it.
No, it's fine. And look, here's the thing. I started doing comedy because I liked it,
Mm-hmm.
and I continued. I mean, I wouldn't do it if I didn't find it fun and if I didn't have a good time every week going and doing it.
Yeah.
So I
True
do
that.
comedy because I enjoy it, and the more I enjoy it, I find the better I get. And
It's true.
just the more I kind of like stop caring about people's perceptions and like kind of let myself have fun with it. Generally speaking, that's when I have really good sets or when I have really good nights. I feel like that's just the same thing here. Like if we're
Yeah.
having fun with it, if I mean not too structureless, but if we're having good conversations, if we're talking about shit we're actually interested in, if we're not like bullshitting, then I think because I think our only our big problem right now is just promotion. Just
Yeah.
people
Yeah,
don't
but
really
people
know who
actually
we
even
are.
know about this podcast.
Yeah, people don't know who we are. We're not like famous. We're not don't have established like fan bases or whatever, and it's just going to be infinitely harder to get people to actually listen to a podcast when it's like that. So right now our goals are a lot smaller. Nobody's expecting us, and I don't think we're expecting either to be like the next Tim Dillon, Joe Rogan, whatever. And that's fine because we're starting out and
Yeah.
we're just kind of giving this a shot.
No, the world's burning and starving and all kinds of shit, and we're like, we just want to be the next biggest podcast.
Exactly. So I think, yeah, like what you said earlier, like the goal of, you know, just get us up to like 50 subscribers,
Yeah.
that'd be fine. And I think a good way to do that would just be like mention it at shows more often,
Mm-hmm.
kind of do that.
Yeah.
Because I don't remember, do you remember Austin Trott?
Yeah, he used to always shill his podcast.
He used to plug his podcast a lot, and I will be
Yeah.
honest, I never listened to it, but I
No.
remember what it was called, and
What was it? What was it called?
called Last Desserts.
Yeah, he has the same meal, or the same last meal that a serial killer had, and they talk about the serial killer.
Death Row Inmate.
Oh, death row,
Yeah,
whatever.
but yes.
Yeah, sorry. He talks about what they did to earn their spot.
I assume, and I haven't listened to it, I assume he does it with like a comedic touch and it's funny and lighthearted.
I don't know. He doesn't really do comedy with a comedic touch. No, I'm just fucking kidding.
Well,
I'm kidding. I'm
Austin
kidding. If
Trott's
Austin
also
Trott
not
ever
around
listens to
anymore.
this, I'm joking.
But I don't know. I don't know how many people checked out his podcast through that,
I
but
don't know. Some people
probably
are very into that
more
shit,
than
so
you'd
like I
think.
feel like more people than we would think, yeah,
Yeah.
would have checked it out.
So I think if we just kind of start doing that with our shit,
What do we what
we might be more inclined.
Yeah, I just want to know what the fuck we want the point of this to be.
I think what you said, give it a good college try. That's like
No,
pretty
no,
much
not just
accurate.
that. Not
Oh.
just that, but like what is our point of doing this? Is it just to chat about anything?
So you mean like, are we looking for like a new like gimmick? Not gimmick, but like a new
Yeah.
kind of thing the show revolves around?
Yeah, that we would actually be able to stick to and enjoy,
Mm-hmm.
whatever that is. Unless we just go fuck that. Let's just be. Cause like, okay, I listen to, I listen to fucking what is it called? God damn it, Bad Friends. I listen to Rogan. Rogan's theme is like just talking about whatever that person's doing. Like the scientists, they'll talk about
Right.
biology. I listen to Misfits. I listen to Tim Dillon. All these podcasts I'm listening. Basically, they don't have a theme.
Mm-hmm.
They just talk.
Right.
They just go on whatever is happening and go off that. And I enjoy those. But I also wonder. I wonder if there's enough of those. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, I think if you're doing that, you have to have kind of like a unique voice or a unique perspective. Or because Tim Dillon, his thing is he's like an overweight gay guy who's got a very like, I mean, it literally like his voice, like the way he speaks is very distinct, and you don't hear a lot of people who are like that. So
Yeah.
he's obviously an interesting
Well,
guy.
he would probably tell you that you could find a million people that sound like him from Long Island.
Well, maybe. I'm not from
They
New
all
York.
talk like this, I guess.
Well, I'm not from New York, so I don't know if there are a lot of people who sound like him. I know I don't know a lot of like comedians or people in the media who sound like that.
Yeah,
Or
I
who
wish
talk
we
the shit that
sounded
he
really
talks about.
trashy too. I do.
Yeah, I do kind of sometimes wish I had like a more southern voice.
I, you know, my I I get kind of the accent shit from like my mom, but I typically talk pretty like Midwestern.
Yeah, you don't really have like a. I don't feel like you really have like much of an accent.
Well, sometimes I let it out, a little bit of moonshine
Sure,
just
sure.
dribble over my lips.
Yeah. Well, because I've been told by other people that I sound like I'm from the South, but there are people who aren't from the South, and I guess,
Yeah, they
you know,
what they're saying is
maybe
you
they
just
can
sound
tell.
different because they're from the north.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Maybe to the trained ear or to people who aren't around Southerners all the time, you can tell. But me personally, I don't really feel like I talk in a Southern way at all.
Alyssa tells me every time I'm around my grandparents who are like super southern,
Hmm.
I don't talk like this anymore. Like I talk southern with them.
Well,
You know,
no, it is
I
funny though when you
assimilate.
get a different voice depending on who you're around,
Yeah, it
Because
makes
I've
you wonder
noticed.
about yourself. You're like, am I psychotic? Like, am I a psychopath that like just kind of globs onto whoever I'm with and I just mirror
Yeah,
people?
but I kind of think everybody does that, like to
Yeah,
a certain extent.
I just don't want to be one of those annoying fucks that like tries to make it in LA and they
Oh,
went to
sure.
Britain one time and now they came back and they're like, "Oi, oi, gov." Like they talk
Or
like
you
as if
just
they've
talk like you're
always
from California, just
yeah.
kind of talking that way. Yeah,
Like I
I know
just
you
don't
mean.
want to be one of those fake ass
Sure.
bitches that
Oh yeah, you
everybody
don't want to be
hates
fake.
and
Nobody wants.
never makes it.
Yeah, yeah. But what I noticed is like when I'm like around people I'm trying to like okay, so like for example, when I'm like at like a comedy thing and I'm like meeting new people or I'm just like talking to comedians that I know who I like respect, I kind of like I like talk a lot less and I like kind of I keep myself
hmm
in check and I
You
talk
don't want to
like
embarrass yourself.
yeah, cuz I don't
You
want to
don't want to
embarrass
make
myself.
you don't want to do what I do all the time when I meet a new comic where I make a joke, nobody laughs.
Well, but then when I'm around people either that I've known for a really long time or like people I really want to, or like people who I think are like, oh, you're so fucking smart. I really want you to think I'm smart. I like talk way too much. And I like kind of, people have told me I like do kind of a gay voice when I'm like doing that, which I haven't noticed, but it's probably true. So, and then, yeah, I talk a different way around my family. So,
It's funny. I remember when I first met you, and for a while, I felt like you had all the gay factors.
hmm
Still, never thought you were actually like sucking cock on the side, but but then I found out that was the case. I
well,
thought I thought you were one of those dudes that like you had a gay voice,
yeah.
you had the gay tendencies. I guess I don't know that the things that give you the vibe that like, oh, this guy's homosexual.
Yeah, I've been told that a lot.
Yeah, but I thought you had all of that, but you were just still heterosexual. You were just trapped in this gay body.
I've heard that.
Like
I've heard
I feel like I'm trapped in a gay body, but I'm meant to be hetero.
Well, I've heard people say that, and I think it's just because, like, I don't fucking know. I think it's because I like copy a lot of things from like people I watch interviews of. This is a weird thing to say, but like,
Bo Burnham.
but like people who I like respect, and I like watch an interview with them, and I like see how they talk, and I'm like, okay, so I just want to talk like that, and I like kind of like not consciously because then that sounds psychotic, but like
Your parents talk pretty normal too. Like they talk pretty Midwestern, middle
yeah,
of the
which
road
is
type.
weird because my dad's from Alabama. He has a little bit of an accent. You haven't met my mom. My mom, who's from Florida, has like I mean, yeah, she just has like a Midwestern accent. She doesn't sound like she's from any place near the South, and yet she is literally from like kind of trashy area in Florida. So
Weird how that works, doesn't it?
it is. It's weird.
Doesn't it? Isn't it? Who cares, dude? I'm
I
from the
guess not
South. I
that
don't need to
trashy.
know my fucking grammar. Uh,
It's actually
that's a
weird.
stereotype that's like fucking true. Trashy parts of the South, they're terrible at math.
Yeah.
They are
Oh yeah.
bad at math. My little brother, the most exciting moment of going going to like a parent lunch thing, whatever that my little brother was a part of at his school, was him taking me around to all the other kids in the cafeteria and being like, "Yo, tell Lane how many times you've been held back." Minimum? You want to know the minimum was?
What?
3. 3 times.
Great.
And I heard that the teachers were talking to my mom about how fucking awful it is to have to teach these kids and teach them math.
Hmm.
And yeah, no, like just imagine like a shithead kid and then imagine that you have a classroom of 30 of them.
Mm.
Like that's what it's like apparently.
Damn.
In shitty parts of Georgia and Alabama that is.
Well, I would never want to be like a teacher of young children. That would be fucking awful.
It's amazing that the South is like their stereotype is like we treat our kids to respect their elders. We spank them. We'll break out the whip.
Yeah.
And like I feel like that's becoming less and less of a thing here. And now the kids are even shittier.
Yeah.
They're bigger shitheads.
Exactly. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that's what I was gonna mention because when I met you, my first assumption, and this didn't turn out to be the case, obviously, but my first assumption was that you were like kind of a meathead. But then the more I got to know you, I was like, no, Lane's a very like nice, smart guy.
Oh,
And
thank you.
so, but it is funny because when I first met you, I was just like, who is this guy? Because when you meet someone new, you're like really trying to figure
Yeah,
them
you try to get the vibe of who they
Mhm.
are right away.
Yeah, and then it didn't but it didn't go how I thought it would, and it very rarely does. Usually, I'm wrong about people like that, and it's
Well, you're not the only one to fucking see me and think that that's gonna be the case.
yeah, but it.
You're not the first, and you definitely won't be the last.
Well, but I felt bad about it though because I was like, and this is like gay as shit to say, but like also you were kind of like the first guy who I met from comedy who was like really really nice to me, and it
Mhm.
made me feel good about like the idea of doing comedy like as a long term thing and not just like trying it out and moving past it. So.
Well, when I met you and I saw you go up, I was like, that guy's new. That guy's hilarious. I should become friends with him. Like,
Yeah.
I want to have comic friends that I'm close with,
Hmm.
and it turned out for the best because now we're roommates.
Exactly.
It's kind of
So,
a gay story, but you know,
well, yeah, hey, some of the best stories
yeah.
are
Gay as shit.
no. But yeah. Oh, we didn't mention this. Lane and I are. This is probably not going to spill the gay thing, but we've started working out together
Oh yeah.
at the UA gym.
Yeah, we go run to the UA gym and then we walk back with our smoothies. Sounds even the more we describe it, it's so gay.
It is pretty gay. I
Walk
will
back
say.
with our acai smoothies.
Well, you say that we both run. You are really the one who's doing the running. I kind of I kind of start and stop, and you kind of wait for me to catch up.
You'll get to a point where you can, maybe only walk 3 times. You'll get to a point
Hopefully.
where you don't have to walk as much. That's my goal too, because Avery was saying earlier, he was like, "No, you look like you have pecs." I'm like, "Yes, I have pecs, but they're under like an inch of fat. Like I need to get rid of some of this titty so that I feel good at the beach."
That's fair. It's funny to me because I know a lot of people who like feel like they're really fat and they like talk all the time about like, oh my God, I look so
Oh my
fat.
god, I gotta get to the gym, guys.
And but I like look at them and I'm like, you really don't look that fat. You kind of just look like a normal person because because like when you see a fat person, you know.
Yeah, you hear them.
Yeah.
You can hear them like breathing.
You can hear them wheezing when they climb a flight of stairs.
You can hear them sit down or stand up.
Exactly. So it's just funny to me when you like, it's so obvious what, sorry, a fat person is and what they look like that knowing people who aren't, who in my mind, I'm like, yeah, you're not fat at all. And they're like complaining about it. And I'm like, that's such a funny thing to like focus on because
It's called body dysmorphia, Avery.
I get it why people have that feeling.
And you get body dysmorphia when you start out a life of chubbiness, and then you know, you lose a lot of weight from doing a sport or getting your life together or whatever the fuck you do to lose a bunch of weight. And then the second you start gaining any amount of weight back or you start showing that chubbiness like at all a little bit again, you freak the fuck out. You're like, "No, I am not going back.
Yeah.
I am not going back to virgin ass lane."
That makes
Okay?
sense. That makes sense that's why.
Yeah. So you have to, you know,
Were you a
I
chubby
think
kid?
oh yeah, you've seen the pictures I
I
sent.
have, but I don't know. Kind of just looked like normal kid to me.
Dude, I was a dopey chubby fuck. Like
Hmm,
I
interesting.
had tits for days. You know when you have like where like your nipples like they look concaved because you're fat enough?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's yeah.
You know what pissed me off? I'll say this because I kind of have like maybe not the opposite, but I have a thing like where I'm kind of self-conscious about being like super fucking like skinny and like a fucking little walking twig
Yeah.
where I just like I get very like well, what it was I was staying at my with my parents with my brothers over the holidays. So like, you know, it's me, my brothers, like we're all kind of sharing pretty close quarters. And I was going to the bathroom late one night and I see my younger brother, who is taller than me, which I hate, walking out of
Same with mine.
the
My youngest brother's taller than me, and he. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm interrupting your
No,
story.
you
Keep
go
going.
ahead.
He does construction. Like that's what he wants to do with his life. He's learning everything about construction, including like the plumbing, the electrical, everything.
Sorry.
And he does it so much in his off time from school that like that he and he eats so well because he's also diabetic, and it's not from being fat, it's the type 1, I believe.
Yeah,
um so he's gotten like pretty ripped, pretty big.
sure.
And and now he's taller than me, so I'm like looking at him like, god damn it, I got to get back to the gym and do something and not let my little brother be like towering over me. Like,
Right, yeah.
you know, but keep going, sorry.
Well, it's just that, like, yeah, because my younger brother, you know, he's younger than me, obviously. He's blonde, which I'm not, and he's also, like, because I just saw him, like, walking out of the bathroom when I was about to go take a shit one night, and he didn't have a shirt on, and he was, like, fucking, like ripped almost.
Ah,
He had, like, fucking, like, giant pecs and, like,
yeah.
like, abs and shit, and I was looking at him, and I, like, started getting, like,
You
pissed
like
off. I was
you
just
literally
like,
like whimpering to yourself. You're like,
well, no, because it's like he doesn't. That guy doesn't go to the gym. I
he
know
doesn't.
him. No, he's a fucking nerd. He's a nerd piece of shit. Well, I love my brother. He's not a piece of shit, but
He's a fucking
he's a piece of
asshole.
fucking shit. No, he's not. But he is like he doesn't really like
Thanks.
work out or anything. He just like kind of. I think he plays a lot of like D&D, and he's just kind of a normal sort of nerdy guy.
That shit annoys me.
It annoys me because I was looking at him. I was like, why?
You
Why
know,
you and not me? We have the same genes. I don't get it.
there are people. God, you'd be such a weird person if you had those genes.
I know.
You'd be such a weird individual.
It'd be strange to look at.
Um. Oh yeah, actually, there's another thing I just got reminded of in my brain. It doesn't help that you're double jointed too, that you're
Uh,
so skinny,
I know.
because you literally look like a licorice man just bending your arms backward.
No, yeah.
We were doing fucking planks, and because you're still developing the muscle there and like getting to that, and also if you're bendy like that, you have to have more rigid muscles that can
Mm,
do that, but your arms just kept wobbling in and out.
yeah.
You had me so worried.
I was like, oh shit, am I gonna
I,
break
I
my
thought your
arm?
I thought your arms were just gonna snap backwards and you're gonna
Yeah.
slam into the fucking ground.
When I was a kid and I was working at Chick-fil-A in high school, I was like leaning up against like a counter one because it was a slow day, and I was like in the back leaning up against like this counter, and my arms were bending back behind me.
Yeah.
And this black guy I was working with
Somebody
just he just looked at me and he said, "You need to stop doing that."
I just imagine being Chick-fil-A. They're like, Satan! That's the
Like,
devil's work right there.
he was just like, "Yeah, you need to stop."
That
And I was just like, "Okay, I guess I
shit
won't."
grosses people out. It grosses
It really
me out.
does.
Like it makes
Like
me. It makes.
this.
Yeah, that shit makes me like, like
Yeah,
squirmish. Because your
yeah.
elbow's not supposed to bend that way.
I guess technically I don't really like seeing other people do it either, but I'm used to it
It's
with
the
myself.
equivalent of like if you just spun your head around.
Yeah.
Like if you just spun it around,
Yeah.
I'd be like, ugh, fucking don't do that.
Mm-hmm. I
Dude,
get why it grosses people out.
imagine you're like hanging out at a party and you can do that. and you just whip your head around. And you're like, "You talking shit?"
That'd be kind of a cool little ability. You could
Yeah,
just like spin your
yeah,
head
like an
360
owl.
like an owl. Yeah, I kind of like that.
That would remind me of that video, or no, it was Auntie Donna's Funhouse,
Mhm.
which if you haven't seen, you've got to go see. It's really
It's pretty
dumb,
funny.
but it's funny. And the first episode, they're interviewing people to be their new roommate, and one of the guy was like, the chair was empty, by the way. The joke was that he was camouflaged, but they're like, "I have the powers of a chameleon.
Mhm.
Wait, no, he's like, I have this. I don't know. Fucking. He walked in and he was like, I have claws of a chameleon. It's like if you got the powers of an owl, which are fucking able to hear anything and it's pinpoint it from
Mhm.
any distance or whatever the fuck, or like seeing in the night,
Or
or even
flight. Yeah.
flying. And then your ability is you can whip your head around.
I guess I'd feel pretty jilted if that
If that's
were what I got from
the
it.
thing you got from it.
Yeah, but that'd be a funny thing. That'd be like if you were like had a genie or whatever, and you were like, I wish that I had the powers of an owl, and he was like, you get your wish.
Yeah.
But then it's like, oh fuck, I can just
I
spin
could
my head
just spin
around.
my head around and freak out girls.
It'd be
Great.
pretty cool. It'd be cool for like a day, and I think you'd then be.
It's one of those things where like even if you got on America's Got Talent with that thing, it'd be over in 5 seconds. You'd be like, whoop, and then you'd just be like, that's it, guys.
Yeah.
That's the whole
Can't really
thing.
base a show around that.
Nope. Yeah.
Well, we're at an hour.
We are at an hour, and we still have not figured out if there's anything we want to actually do with this podcast, or if we just want to leave it this way, just talk about shit.
I enjoy it. I've enjoyed it the most when we're not like fitting it around trying to talk about a movie because I feel like you and I just kind of end up talking about whatever we want to anyway.
That's true. Why fight what we end up doing?
Exactly. So
Why fight it?
just let it fall into place, man. But
Yeah.
anyway, this this has been Two Dudes, One Closet.
Bye.
Signing off.